This podcast may contain adult themes and triggering topics. Please be kind to yourself if you get triggered by what we discuss.
Also, this isn't a substitute for therapy or counseling. Please listen to the appendix at the end for some of our recommendations for resources that will help you find a qualified mental health care provider.
Now, we take you to a time in the near future where emotional abuse has been appropriately deemed a crime, and the survivors find a home to reclaim their lives and freedom. This is Haven, and these are the stories of the reclaimers.
Beanie, don't go in yet. I'm too nervous.
I know.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to you using your empathy around me without asking for permission.
Being an advocate takes some sacrifices for sure, Sonia. Listen, before we go in, I want you to know this is set up to be like a final exam, but you've been doing such great work over the past year. You're ready. I know it, Percy knows it, and I have a sneaking suspicion that under your nerves, you know it too.
What, now you're a mind reader?
No, I just know you pretty well.
Huh. But, hey, Feeny, I never thanked you for your recommendation. I never dreamed I'd be an advocate. It's pretty cool. So far, anyway.
Sonia, you deserve it. And after today, you're only going to make it to junior Advo, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm kidding.
I know. Besides, I was just basking in all that pride you have for me.
Well, I do.
Yeah, thanks for that, too. Okay, enough with the mushy. Time to do this.
All right, Sonia, you're good with water?
Yeah.
Okay. For purposes of the final, we won't be using empathy to communicate. We will be able to feel what you feel, but we're not going to accept empathic responses as answers. We need you to verbalize, so we'll do the same.
Understood.
But we will be monitoring your reactions using our empathy.
Okay. No pressure.
I know that's tricky for you, but you can still have what you need from us, okay? This isn't meant to be adversarial at all. The purpose of this isn't really to show just us that you're ready. It's to prove it to yourself. And it helps us check the boxes that you can demonstrate the rules and curriculum.
Thanks. And thanks for the support you're sending, Percy. I love it when you do the calm wave thing.
All part of the service, fellow advocate.
Oh, I know that one. Chapter 3, Section B, you're using presuppositions of a positive outcome to help me envision myself in the role I've worked for.
That
Nice.
wasn't part of the test, but well done. Chapter and verse of the manual, Feeny. I'm impressed, Sonia, and even if I hadn't watched you two working together over the past year, I'd know you were Feeny's student by that alone.
Hey, I can't help it that I have a totally kick-ass memory.
True. The suffering you must have endured over it.
I know this one, too. Chapter 2, Section C, you're using humor to diffuse my nerves.
And is it working?
What Percy means to say is that it wasn't intentional.
Speak for yourself, Phoenix. I'm funny, damn it.
I know this one. It's called ego, and I'm not allowed to use it in session. Isn't that right, Sonia?
Hey, first, Feeny, rude. Second, nope, definitely not. Sessions are about survivors, not advocates.
Good.
And besides, most foundational Freudian research regarding ego and id was reassessed and laid aside long before the discovery of heightened empathy receptors.
Okay. Well played, Sonia. I know we're ready to begin when you start making Freud jokes.
Yeah. Okay, ready.
Good. We're going to give you a couple of theoretical scenarios, and then you'll role play with one of us, depending on the scenario. The test is designed to help you demonstrate your knowledge of advocacy best practices, the empowering tools, and the coercive control tactics as listed under the most recent statutes.
Yes, understood. Let's go.
All right, let's start off with a case study.
All right. Our survivor. Let's call him Phoenix.
Ooh, very original.
Phoenix was married to a sociopath for 15 years. He has 2 kids with her, and they have a rehabilitation-approved parent time plan. Phoenix is coming to the end of his time at the Haven. He tells you he's going to miss you terribly. Demonstrate at least one best practice and the use of one empowering tool in your response to him.
Okay. Oh, wait, did I already do consent for this session with him?
Oh, good catch. No, you haven't. Show us how it's done.
Okay. I'm raising my emotional block and sending a first receptor probe.
Confirmed. Excellent work on your block. I know that's been a struggle for you to develop.
Beanie, turn down the pride. I get it. You're impressed.
I thought you could use the vote of confidence.
Yeah, but it's gonna get distracting.
Done. Sorry.
Good on the assertive request, Sonia. Keep going.
Okay, now I'm going to the mental line where we bonded and then verbally ask, Phoenix, do I have your permission to use my empathy while we're together today?
Yes.
Great. Because he said yes, I'm going to step over the bonding line and do the first probe into just the immediate area. I go no farther because I don't have consent.
Yes. Good. Why is consent so important, Sonia?
Chapter 4, Introduction. The survivor needs boundaries modeled, and they also need to know our empathy isn't a danger to them. Plus, by asking for consent, we're establishing trust and hopefully setting up safety in cases of transference.
Excellent. Continue.
Okay, I can feel he's terrified. Whoa, are you really that scared?
We're both amplifying it so you can experience a typical survivor session with our empathy blocks in place.
That much? Really? Wow.
Yes. For example, you had high-level emotions when you first arrived here.
Since you reintegrated, though, you may not have the same sense of those concentrated emotions. Your threshold is likely adjusted since you've been among advocates and trainers so much over the past year as well. There's a bit of hive regulating we all do to help one another deal with the stuff we witness in session.
Oh, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about that.
Okay. Oh, this is horrible. I hate feeling like this.
Okay, thanks for being here with me, Phoenix. I can feel your fear. Well, how would you describe it?
Terror? I feel terrified.
Of what?
Of leaving the Haven. It's so safe here, and I'm not ready.
You don't have to leave before you're ready, Phoenix.
I know that. I'm just scared. I don't know if I can trust myself to keep me and my kids safe.
I'm sensing a question about safety there. I know it's not to do with your abuser, as I know she'll be in rehabilitation for quite some time. The question seems to center around feelings of confusion. There's a little shame, too. Would you like to tell me about that?
Not really, but you can feel it anyway.
Careful on consent there, Sonia.
What? I didn't think I was going past the immediate empathic scan.
You weren't, but shame is handled differently. Tell me why?
Oh, shoot! Chapter 7. Shame is something we should let them tell us about, even if we can identify it in the immediate space.
And why is that?
Locus of control. Every best practice and empowering tool are meant to help restore locus of control to the survivor. They were traumatized and had choice removed, so they need to rebuild the perception and awareness of their ability to choose.
Well done. Go on with Phoenix.
Phoenix. I can feel the confusion. Is there more behind that?
Great question. Great way to handle that.
Yeah, I just feel kind of ashamed.
Would you like to tell me about it?
Maybe. I feel conflicted. I don't, but I do.
Okay, well, let's start with the confusion about trusting yourself. Would that be an okay place to start?
Yeah, I guess.
Can you think of an empowering tool that you could use to deal with trusting yourself? You're far enough into your healing work that you know the tools really well. Wait, right?
Yes. A survivor who's prepping to leave the Haven should know the tools pretty well.
I don't know. I'm feeling too much to think clearly right now.
Okay, let's go through the list. Do you need to map what you're concerned about?
No, and I don't need to do any replacement either.
Okay, what about mantra?
Oh, yeah. I guess I could have a calming mantra.
What would comfort you to hear most right now?
I can trust myself to be safe.
Whoa, did you just use a mantra as an affirmation? That's awesome. Well done, Phoenix.
Thank you.
Let's just sit with that for a minute, okay? Wow. That was good. You did great.
Do you feel ready to go back to the other thing you're feeling conflicted about?
Not really.
I get that. What if I use a calm wave?
That would be great. Thank you, Sonia. That's much better. I guess I'm just feeling ashamed that I've become so dependent on you. I feel really close to you. You know my life story, my emotions, all about my abuser, all of that. I'm concerned about feeling all that for you.
Hey, Phoenix, that's cool. Do you know what that means?
No?
It means you've been doing really good work at getting really vulnerable. I mean, I understand it can be kind of tricky to feel that way, but we can embrace it. It's okay to feel close to someone who can read you emotionally.
I don't, no offense, but I don't have romantic feelings for you.
That's good. That means I'm doing my job to manage the transference. We can get close without you experiencing any of the side effects of transference.
Okay, this is a good place to stop.
Oh, I was excited to tell him all about transference and how calming waves can block it.
I know you were ready. Okay, Feeny, time for feedback, and you're first.
Yeah, and I want real feedback, not that Feeny sweetness.
Sonia, I've never been dishonest with you.
Yeah, I know. Just sometimes you put stuff nicer than you should. I can feel it.
Percy, stop with the raised eyebrow.
What?
We've had this conversation before. Feeny doesn't want to be critical.
Feedback isn't criticism.
Right?
And Feeny, when you were my advocate, you heard all about my abuser's criticism.
Right.
I can confidently say I know the difference.
Hey.
All the more reason for me to be careful about how I say things. Survivors deserve all sorts of reassurance after dealing with all that criticism. Still, you asked. Real feedback. Overall, I thought you did really well. You pulled yourself back from the excitement over my getting vulnerable. That was good to monitor your excitement so it wouldn't be misunderstood by the survivor. Your permission-based calming wave went really well. And I loved that you used the embrace it. That's an important principle in strengths-based therapy. Oh, and you pushed too far on the shame, so I was relieved when Percy stopped you.
Relieved? I thought you were relieved that you didn't have to feel scared for a while.
And therein lies the danger of the empathy receptor. Tell me what that is, Sonia?
Oh, Chapter 6, the danger lies in the advocate misinterpreting the presence of emotion as a response to something the advocate is doing instead of stored trauma.
Yes.
You know, in this circumstance, wouldn't it be more effective to just bypass consent?
No, Sonia, it's not the time.
All right. Again,
Oh, boy.
we can never bypass consent.
But
no matter the danger. Consent is
keeps
the
people
primary
safe?
directive for a reason. It's not worth it.
But if someone's a danger...
No, you need to understand, Sonia. Consent prevents violation, and violation is where our survivors have been. We can't be responsible for re-traumatizing them. It's just not worth the risk.
If it keeps
We have
people
other things to talk about. Feeny,
Percy, are
just
you...
give me a minute. I need to get some water. Sonia, assuming that I don't know what it's like to be a victim isn't exactly showing your empathy training in action, is it?
Well, maybe it's... Wait, I didn't say that out loud.
Feeny, can you just share? I need to get a...
Feeny, I swear, I did not say that out loud. I just had this thought that she doesn't get what it's like to be a victim.
Okay, there's something you need to know. Percy can read thoughts. When the emotion is strong enough, she can read what people are thinking.
What? She can... What?
She's been able to do it as long as I've known her. In college, she used to read people during debates. And one time, she found out Ashley, who's now my wife, liked me and hoped that I would ask her out.
Percy can read thoughts? And why doesn't she use that all the time? Or better yet, why isn't she using it as like a detective? Oh my gosh, she bothers me about consent?
Yeah, she does use it all the time. She just doesn't tell everyone. And very few people know. It made her an amazing researcher. She was published before her junior year, but it alienated a lot of people too. One professor, Professor Daniels, he was particularly vicious about her academic success. He was working with the war crimes encampments after the war ended, and she applied for an internship with the department. Guess who was in charge of assigning those internships?
Daniels?
Yep. The encampment she was assigned to was filled with war criminals from our side. She was assigned too much.
From how you're feeling, it seems pretty terrible.
Yeah, she almost dropped the program altogether over it. But she made it to graduation, and then we both moved to the West Coast to do grad school.
Did you know the professor?
Yeah, Professor Daniels. He's a senator now. He was always nice to me, but he put Percy through horrible gaslighting, idealizing her in front of everyone and then privately tearing her down and devaluing every assignment she brought him before sending her to the encampment. After she got back, well, I'm not at liberty to share everything, but it was bad. She shut down for almost the whole first year of grad school.
That's awful. I had no idea.
Yeah, she doesn't share that with a lot of people.
How does she keep it from the other advocates? We're not supposed to have secrets from one another, so we can't use our heightened empathy to manipulate people. Is it a director thing?
No, not at all. She's worried about his consent. Emotional abuse wasn't a crime then, and she can't find out what he's done since without reading past the line of consent.
He groomed her and put her through that torture, and she's worried about his consent?
I'm worried about the truth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to assume.
It's okay. I get what you're asking, and I get why you're concerned. Thanks, Feeny. Thanks for sharing. No, it wasn't too much. Even after all these years, I trust you implicitly.
Because you can read his thoughts?
Nice. No, it's because he was my advocate of sorts that year after I got back from the war crimes encampment. He was dating his future wife, long distance, making it through school, and daily coaching me through panic attacks and all the other trauma stuff.
Percy, are you okay?
I'm still really triggered.
Crap, Percy, I'm sorry.
No, Sonia, I'm sorry. Sorry I lost my temper. It's not you, and not just this. I have this worry about Julia. As you know, her abuser is ex-Black Ops. Everything she's telling me is just throwing me back into that space at Daniels. And I can just... Even after all these years.
Whoa, I don't think I've ever felt this much anger from you. Feeny, or you're livid.
You didn't see her during that year.
Wow. Persephone, I am so sorry that happened to you.
Thank you, Sonia. And excellent use of the apology best practice. You're shaping up to be an amazing advocate already. Feeny. Really? You think so?
Absolutely. I think she's ready. Sonia, I just asked Percy if she'd be okay with you coaching her through this trigger attack in lieu of another role play for your test.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
I'm right here for you if you want to ask any questions, and Percy is willing. You already have her consent because she's an advocate. You can do this. Go.
Okay. I'm okay. Persephone. Percy. I can feel the anger and the... Oh, Percy, how would you describe what you're feeling?
Shame.
Will you tell me a little more about it?
I'm really proud of my internal strength. I have 2 decades of formal clinical experience. I like to think of myself as this very strong person who let this man...
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt, but you let someone abuse you?
Okay. Good call. I'll take it. I didn't let him. He deceived me, and I really needed to do whatever he said so I could get that degree. I was trapped.
Right. And now? Take all the time you need to process. And keep in mind, silence helps that processing. So we can be here in the silence as long as you need.
Thanks. Just shouldn't be affecting me this deeply after all this time.
Says who?
Says a team of people who studied reintegration of war veterans and physical assault survivors.
But that's not emotional abuse. What does Senator Alcorn's research say?
Yes. Good. Thank you. Redirecting to external proof is a very good best
Percy,
practice.
stop. Going into evaluation. You need to deal with this. Beanie? Oh my gosh. The pride. You gotta stop that while I'm trying to focus.
Okay. I'm really impressed, though. Not many people can go toe-to-toe with Percy like this.
Noted. Percy, what does the research say?
That without proper support, recovery can take up to 1 year per month of exposure to gaslighting from a narcissist or sociopath.
And how many months were you exposed?
38.
So, 38 years?
I have worked so hard. I don't want it to take that long.
Understandable. It's only an estimate. You're still angry about that?
Very
What he did to you is...
unconscionable.
Percy? Surprisingly, I can feel the panic fading now. How's the trigger?
It's going to be a minute, but it's fading.
What happened there at the end?
I used my mantra.
You want to share what that is?
Yeah. It's that word. Unconscionable. It reminds me that Professor Daniels didn't display empathy or conscience, and so I will always be utterly devoted to consent, empathy, and giving others a chance to heal from the unconscionable abuse they've suffered.
Good. Very advanced. I'd say you're ready for reintegration pretty soon.
Sonia, thank you. Feeny, do that feedback thing while I collect myself.
Sonia, that was...
Oh my gosh. Feeny, the pride. Seriously.
Oh, you love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's fun to feel this much emotion from you. It was never like that in session.
The awesome power of the empathy blocks.
It makes sense. If I'd been able to feel everything you were feeling, I wouldn't have been able to go at my own pace.
Yes! Demonstrating another best practice.
Okay, what's next?
Tell me about the tools you used with me in the first role play.
I used mantra and delay.
Right. You got me to focus on the feelings instead of taking immediate action or judging myself. That's a form of delay and rebuild. Well done. What about best practices?
I went at your pace, and I focused on listing the tools to model good approaches to emotional overwhelm.
Excellent. Very effective. And why is going at my pace effective?
More of that choice and consent restoring control to the survivor.
Yes.
They get to choose the pace of their healing.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Feeny, it's not fair to use final exam answers as therapeutic tools with your old friend.
You're feeling better, though, aren't you?
Yes. Thank you.
Rest my case.
Listen, Percy, we got you, okay? You can count on the advocates, even the junior ones. We're all warriors for healing, right?
Oh, I like that. Healing warriors.
Me too.
Percy, that was really cool.
What was?
You getting vulnerable like that. Very courageous and very, very super strong.
Thank you, Sonia.
Sonia, more best practices. Well done using praise.
You're ready. And you know you are. I just heard you say it in your head.
It's nice to feel this confident.
There's just one thing left, and you need to do it for you, not us. Tell me the purpose of reclamation.
The reclamation motto. First, to break down trauma bonds in an environment that provides survivors the tools to recognize and build safety. Second, to do the self-care necessary to facilitate recovery. Third, to reclaim their identity and self-esteem. Fourth, to reintegrate at their own pace and on their own schedule.
Bad news there, Sonia. I am not going to be able to stop this pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, good news, though. You passed the junior level certification. Congratulations.
I only wish there was, like, a sword.
So we could what, knight you or something?
No, I just like to think of waving a sword anytime something awesome happens.
Warrior.
Healing warrior.
Hey, it's Percy and Feeney here. What you've just heard is a work of fiction, but we know that many listeners are living in a world of pain that isn't fictional at all.
At the end of every episode, we're going to include an appendix of sorts. Some things we hope will serve those who live with a reality of fear and pain every day.
First, we want to let you know about our website, www.empowering.tools, where we keep an ongoing list of books, websites, hotlines, and many other resources for victims and survivors of toxic relationships.
Second, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share your story with us or let us know how the episode impacted you, we'd love for you to reach out. These are deeply emotional things, and we want to give you a chance to share. We're a small team, so an in-depth response isn't always possible, but we do read every message we receive.
Third, if you're in crisis or you need to find an immediate way out, we recommend joinonelove.org. Simply text "Love Is" to 22522* to get an immediate response from a peer advocate, or call 800-799-7233 for the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. If your abuser is a parent or a non-romantic relationship, there are other resources we've listed on the website that are just for you.
A reminder, emotional violence is still violence. You don't need to have bruises on your body to deserve help, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling when you call.
Fourth, be safe. For some, getting out will take planning and time. If you know you need help, do what you need in order to safely get away.
Lastly, we know how difficult it can be to believe there's hope on the other side of a toxic relationship.
Many on our team know the devastatingly difficult steps it takes to get away from an abusive predator.
But there is hope. You don't have to do it alone. If you don't have supportive family or friends, you can still find support at the hotlines we mentioned earlier or at a local hospital or shelter.
Thousands of survivors have made it out. Getting out and reclaiming your freedom can be your story.
We believe in you.
We believe in your future.
And we believe in your right to that freedom.